Today I'm looking at the BLUETTI AC180. This is an 1800 watt and 1152 watt hour solar generator. I'm primarily going to charge this through AC, and that's because I can get about 1000 on standard or about 1400 watts on turbo. And this is much better than the 500 watts of DC input from solar. I already have 1000 watts of solar, but this is connected to my EcoFlow Delta Pro. And so I'm going to charge the AC180 from the Delta Pro, and that way I can take advantage of the full 1000 watts across my complete system. I also have a portable solar panel that is rated at 120 watts, and I was able to connect this easily using the MC4 adapter that came with the AC180, and I was able to get between 80 and 90 watts depending on the angle that I was holding the panel. Wireless charging works really well. I was able to get the full rated 15 watts of output. The only concern I might have is the temperature. It's possible that with extended use, both either the phone or the AC180 might get a little bit warm, so just keep an eye on that while you're using it. I use a water kettle many times throughout the day. It pulls about 1500 watts, and I'm able to boil 1 liter of water using about 5 to 7% of the battery capacity. I decided to try using the water kettle and a toaster at the same time. The toaster uses around 800 watts, water kettle 1500, so this is going to push its limits at around 2400. And as you can see here, when I turn this on, it doesn't quite work out. So this will go into overload almost immediately. It does hold on for a few seconds, but not enough to actually use either appliance. So when this happens, all you have to do is just hold down the AC button. It'll turn off the inverter, and then turn it back on, and everything's back to normal and you can use it again. In this scenario, the power lifting feature would be a great thing to try because it can take you up to 2700 watts for pure resistive loads like heaters. I put this to the test and enabled the powerlifting mode, started the water kettle, and then started the toaster, and was very surprised to see that the power output was capped at just under 1800 watts. And so with the powerlifting, it modifies the voltage so that it can increase the amperage without exceeding the total power limit of the device. A lot of my tools run on the Ego battery system, and I charge it quite commonly, especially during the day when I'm outside working. And so being able to charge these batteries with solar is going to be a great benefit. The AC180 had no trouble keeping up with a microwave oven for 30 seconds at just under 2000 watts. I have a dust collector with a 20 amp plug. This unfortunately was not able to work. Whenever I started the motor, it immediately turned off with an overload. There was no trouble at all with a 15 amp table saw that surged to over 2500 watts at startup. No trouble at all for a 15 amp shop vac. A 15 amp spiral benchtop planer worked great. It is possible to charge an EV, but you may need to use a ground neutral bonded plug, and this will signal to the charge controller that it's safe to charge the EV from your AC180. I also did a capacity test, and I started this by first boiling with some water, and then I moved over to a much smaller load of about 400 watts. That's just some network equipment and desktop computers. I was able to get 0.99 kilowatt hours, and this works out to 86% efficiency on the AC inverter. Overall, I'm extremely pleased with the AC180. After all of my testing, I've decided this thing's really going to keep up with everything that I need it to do. It's portable, it's lightweight, and I look forward to many years of using this around my property and throughout my home with the long life cycle battery.
Y si estás buscando una planta para tus familiares en Cuba, te presento BLUETTI. BLUETTI tiene varios tipos de generadores de diferentes potencias. Esta que estuve comprando yo es de 1800 y es un generador eléctrico de batería, o sea, no es de gasolina. Entonces ella tiene estos tres botoncitos. En el principal es de encender, en el AC le da corriente a los 4 interruptores que trae, en el DC le da corriente para cargar ventiladores, computadoras, laptop, cualquier equipo que tenga USB o tipo C de entrada. Ella viene con una calidad increíble en la partecita de encima. Puedes cargar los teléfonos solo al colocarlos, siempre y cuando el teléfono tenga esa característica. Acá están los 3 puertos de cargarla por vía de corriente, por planta o por panel solar. Traen unos pequeños ventiladores a los alrededores. También ella viene con los cables para cargar, los 3 tipos que les estuve mencionando anteriormente. Aquí les estoy mostrando. El primer cable que les estaré enseñando es el cable para cargarlo si estás en un campamento o afuera y necesitas cargarlo con el carro. Este es el que estuve utilizando yo, que es para cargarlo con corriente. Y este es si tienes alguna panel solar, puedes cargarlo también, y ella trae sus accesorios. Entonces acá pues lo conectas según el que tú vayas a usar en el momento y listo. Ella tiene una carga súper rápida, en 1 hora se carga al 100%. Entonces recuerden, ahí pueden cargar el teléfono solo con ponerlo. Ahí me está dando un poquito de problema, pero sí carga, señor. Soy yo que no sé usarlo muy bien. Entonces ella, me quedé sorprendida porque viene también con su certificación, viene con su garantía. Aquí les estoy mostrando. Y viene también con el manual de instrucción, que aunque a veces no lo leemos, y yo creo que no soy la única, es bueno siempre tenerlo a la mano porque a veces tienen pequeños problemas y aquí están las soluciones. Y también viene la forma detallada de cómo usarla, que nunca debemos dejar por alto. Entonces acá le estuve poniendo la lavadora y señores, les comento que lavó perfectamente, como 2 tandas, y lo que consumió de batería fue como casi 10% del que tenía, y recomendada al 100. Acá le estuve probando también el frío, que durante 1 hora solo consumió 6 rayitas de batería, así que para Cuba no tiene precio. Y también les comento que puse la olla arrocera y la olla de presión y funcionó sin problema. Le dejo el link en los comentarios.
This is the AC180. I'm currently using it as a backup for one of the rooms in my house. Main purpose is if the power goes out and I'm not home, the kids have a place that they can go to have some lighting, some of their electrical devices, even as well as the TV and internet. So I put it in my basement. It's on a shelf. Good amount of space on both sides. Currently plugged into a power source, so that way it'll show it to you. It says grid when it's connected to a power source and it's set up for AC. It comes with 4 outlets. It has 4 USB-A types as well as 1 USB-C that goes up to 100 watts. You have your DC power so that if you have it in the car, you can charge it via the cigarette lighter, and then you have input for your solar panels. On each side, it comes this space right here. You can lift it up. It's about 35 pounds. So in my case, I have it going into the room, and then I also have it covering my router. So as you can see, it has my routers, my backup battery, my internet, and everything else. Total, all those things, as well as a room with 3 lights, takes up anywhere between 160 to 170 watts. As you can see, there are some USB ports. This is for my solar cells. It comes with a cable and these 4 ports. So I literally plug in the room via an extension cord, via an outlet. Now, When I'm ready to, as you can see, I still have about 6.5 hours. When I'm ready to, I can plug it right back onto the grid just by plugging it right in. And like within a few seconds, the input kicks in and everything is back. So this is the room that it's currently feeding. So as you can see, I have the TV on. I have 2 lights on in case of an emergency, as well as a floor lamp. And these are the items that are currently being powered by the AC180. So in the event that my house loses power, these things will stay on for about 6.5 hours. So that way, if the kids are home, they are covered.
Let's see how long it takes. It's 12:37. It's not quite full, but it's like more than 3/4 full. This thing runs fast, but it's working. So look at how much watts it uses. 15, 24, maybe once it heats up it'll be less. And hey, if it's raining, I can't get a plumbing going or a little warm burner, and I gotta use this inside my car. Alright, we lost 2% so far. And I got movement in the water because that thing does it fast. Fast little cooker. I highly recommend using those things. You just gotta have metal bottoms, by the way. And you can check by a magnet you might have on your refrigerator. Just check the bottom. See if it's magnetized. So see, it's going down the wattage.
Okay. So this battery pack has 4 USB chargers, 4 regular chargers, the car plug, and this extra adapter right here to charge. It is also a wireless charging output. You can charge your phone there. This is the size of it. And it also shows you the battery percentage and how many watts it's giving. And in the back, it has the light as well. You can change the settings for it to make it brighter, to make it flash. Ta-da!
My AC180 will not power on. Pressing the power button, nothing. Have the plug, have the cord plugged into the machine. I'm plugging it into the wall. Nothing. Machine is dead. Pressing the power button. I have a light plugged into the wall socket. So you can see the light is on. I can pull the light out. The light is off. Push the light back in. So there's power there.
It's just past 11:30 in the evening, and the BLUETTI has been running my refrigerator now for about 12 hours, and it still has about 19% capacity to continue to run my refrigerator. So that would possibly give me another hour or so. In total, it's been a successful test possibly 13 hours to run my refrigerator if the power goes out. Well done.
So I've had my ice cold refrigerator plugged up to this unit. I charged it at 100% and it has been running for 50 hours straight, and I'm at 50% capacity. So from 100 to 50% capacity, it has ran this pretty large ice cold refrigerator for 50 straight hours. This thing is a tank. Highly recommend.
Brand new, out of the box, and it doesn't work. Shuts right off with a temp fault. What junk.